Hi, this is Jen, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a WordPress site from scratch. I just started a brand new WordPress site using GoDaddy as my host. I use GoDaddy WordPress Managed Hosting, and so if I'm starting a site from scratch, all I need to do is ask GoDaddy to set up a WordPress site for me, and then when it's all set, this is the page that it takes me to, the Settings tab. If for some reason you are not in the Settings tab when you get to your page from GoDaddy or from another WordPress setup, then just make sure you navigate from anywhere on this sidebar dashboard to Settings, General. The first thing you're going to need to do is put in your site title. This is going to be what your WordPress site is called. And make sure that this is what you really mean, because if you don't, then when people are doing searches for you, when your site is showing up on Facebook, all those different things, it will show up with this site title, even if you ask it not to show your site title. So I'm going to change the site title, and it is going to say WordPress Marvel. And your tagline as well. It's a really good place to just write something that your site is about, because it is something that is included when Google searches your site. So we are going to say that this is for WordPress help and tutorials. But you might want to say something a little wittier. Now make sure that your WordPress address URL and your site address URL is the actual one. If you are using a test site right now, then it will not match here, and you're just going to have to remember to double check when you tell it to go live that it has your correct URL there. Next, it's going to populate with your email address. It will choose the email address that you used when you set up your account. I set up my account a long time ago with GoDaddy when I was still using my personal email. Now, membership, anyone can register. Make sure that is unchecked. You do not want to check that box. That means that anybody who happens upon your website can register to be a user on your website. You do not want that, which is why new user default role isn't necessary for you. Next, time zone. Don't forget to do this, because if you forget this, you will find that sometimes your website stats are going to reset in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day, because you're not actually using your time zone. So I'm in Chicago, and so I am going to look for Chicago, which I'm always confused by the way that WordPress decides to organize this. Just choose a city that's close to you or that you know is in your same time zone. Date format. This is how I like my date to appear. You can choose it to appear a different way. You may be in Europe and you want the year first, however it works for you. Time format. I prefer this time format. It looks good to me, but once again, you can change. Week starts on Monday. I think everybody pretty much does that. It's important for your stats, so don't just choose some random day. Okay, so that's simple page, and we just click Save Changes. Anytime you do anything on WordPress, please make sure to click Save whenever you are done or when you're getting up to walk away. So if you've got to go check the front door or let the dogs out, make sure you always click Save, because if you don't get to come back when you thought you did, you may lose everything. So make sure that you do that. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to install a theme. Now, WordPress comes with a theme already installed, and for the sake of brevity, I am going to stick with that theme. Now, I can click Visit Site, and if I right click, I can open the link in a new tab. Okay, so we're going to take a look and see the theme that it comes installed with. Okay, so this is the new 2016 theme. It's a very nice, clean theme. And if you are not really ready to be a big time blogger and make things all crazy, then it's a great theme to start out with. So then we are going to go and we're going to install some very important plugins. So we're going to go to plugins. I clicked on plugins, and this is what came up. Now there are some plugins that come with GoDaddy, and those are these three bottom ones: Search Engine Visibility, Sidekick, and WordPress 101 video tutorials. I love GoDaddy. They're wonderful. And Sidekick and WordPress 101 video tutorials are great. I don't know about search engine visibility. We're going to upload a SEO plugin, which will do the job just fine. But the first thing that you must do is you must activate Akismet. Now right here, this means that there's an update. So whenever you see that, you have to do your updates. I'm a humongous fan of updates. Not updating your plugins or your themes or your WordPress is the #1 way for a hacker to get into your site. So the minute you see an update of a plugin or a theme or your WordPress, do it. Don't wait. Do it first before you post, before you answer comments. Do that. Okay, we're going to activate Akismet. Okay, here we go. I'm going to click activate. Okay, now activate your Akismet account. So we have to do that. Now everybody says, oh, but it's not free. Well, guess what? It is free. You can pay whatever amount that you'd like to them. If you are planning on having a big site that gets hundreds of views a day or thousands of views a day, then I suggest that you offer a nice donation. If you're not sure where you're going, I always give them $1, but you don't have to. So I clicked on that, and now I'm going to click Get an Akismet API Key. Now we're waiting for Akismet to come back to us. Okay, so basic, get started, name your price. That's me. Okay, now the thing is that I have, this is just a plain site, what's called a sandbox site. It's not going to be using Akismet because it's never going to go live. So I'm not paying, but on my normal site, I do pay them $5. So I'm just saying, no, thank you. He's not smiling. Sorry, dude, but I promise I do pay you for other sites. And we're just waiting for our key. Okay, so this is our key. We can just click automatically save your key. And now it's going back to my admin. Da-di-da. And here we are. So it automatically populated the API key. I don't think that it's important to show the number. This says always put spam in the spam folder for review. I have learned that Akismet is awesome. I've never had a post go into Akismet that is not spam. So I would say silently discard the worst and most pervasive spam, because you will find that your spam filter will fill up very, very fast if you don't. And then click Save Changes. Okay, so now this is set up. Awesome. The next thing we need to do is go back to plugins, and now we have to add a new plugin. The next most important plugin that you can have is Jetpack. Jetpack is going to do everything that you need your website to do, and if you didn't install any other plugins but Akismet and Jetpack, you would be A-OK. So I'm going to click Install Now. There's always a little bit of time lag because it's reaching out. Now we're going to just say activate plugin. All plugins you wouldn't necessarily just activate from this page, but I would say 90% of them you will do. So we're just going to click now activate plugin. And now your plugin is activated. Here's another one that you have to connect. You don't have to connect all of your plugins, but Akismet and Jetpack are both run by Automatic. Automatic is the company that invented WordPress. They are the developers of WordPress. And then the way that it works is that by connecting Akismet and Jetpack to the WordPress world, you get so much more from it because it talks to WordPress. It knows, like Akismet knows the worst spammers and automatically blocks out everybody who is sending spam, and they learn that information from WordPress users across the world. So I'm going to connect to WordPress.com. Now, if you don't have a WordPress.com account at this point, Akismet is going, or Jetpack is going to ask you to set up an account. You definitely want to set up an account. You need an account. So just go ahead and set up an account. I have an account already, so I'm just going to approve. And you may too. If you comment on blogs, on WordPress blogs, most likely you created a WordPress account. So try that first. If you use an email that has already been associated with a WordPress account, it will tell you that you have an account already. So what I could do right now is I could say Jumpstart, but I'd like to show you the individual aspects of Jetpack that you would like to use. So I'm going to say skip, and automatically WordPress comes set up, or Jetpack comes set up with these specific things active. Right here you have protect. This prevents brute force attacks. This is amazing. WordPress did not used to come with this. This is a great thing. It really does help you from getting hacked. It's made a huge difference since they've included that. WordPress is something that's available for you to do backups and security scans. It is not free, and it is the only piece of Jetpack that isn't free. If you need backups and security, I highly recommend using WordPress, although hosts like GoDaddy manage WordPress, make it so that you don't need it. Site stats, automatically active. You want to know what your site stats are. Sharing, automatically active. Once again, users can share onto your different social media platforms that you want to engage. Publicize, also, this is how you will automatically be able to promote content. Related posts is inactive. We'll talk about that in a second. Enhanced distribution. I'm not really sure if that works or not, but it can't hurt. And the rest of the things need to be activated. So I'm going to end this video tutorial right now, and we will start with a part 2. And in that part 2, we will talk about Jetpack and how to set up Jetpack and how to use Jetpack before we move on to any other plugins. Thanks so much.